It's one of those nights. Good evening, everyone. We are back.
Hello and welcome.
Yeah, how's it, guys? Welcome back to it. And if you've just joined us, welcome to it. You haven't seen the craziness that Mr. Stephen Berry is having, making sure this feed goes out. I know what it feels like on a Tuesday evening, trying to press all the buttons in the background. And Steve, we can blame it on the rain in Cape Town. How's that?
I think that works comfortably.
Definitely. We'll blame Cape Town because, well, everyone always does.
There we go. Just blame us Cape Townians.
That's
right, let's get back to the action. Check how quickly I changed it.
Yeah. It's okay. We all big Cape Town fans, whether we live there or not. Hey. I'm not sure who I ended up. Found someone shared a pilot from Cape Town's social media on Facebook a little while ago, and he constantly posts these little flight pictures of the ocean and whale watching and stuff that he does when he goes out there. So I'm enjoying my scenic Cape Town trips by some guy I've never met on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know the guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, incredible stuff. Nature conservation dude.
Yeah, that's the guy. Well, it looks like most of these guys are managing to get back in the lobby, and hopefully we're going to get the race underway soon.
I see Sebi's asking Steve if you're in PE.
I'm in East London. Way better than PE.
Just had to throw that in there.
Definitely, East London has beaches that PE wishes it has. Even Durban's beaches aren't quite as good. Cape Town, the water's too cold. Yeah, they do have a mountain, but we've got lots of mountains. I was just hiding away around the back. We have Lahoon Point Nature Reserve. And the one of the 3 oldest Grand Prix circuits still currently active in the world.
Yep.
I've managed to crash on 2 of those corners, so...
Oh.
On the same day. Mr. Fox. I'm definitely not jealous. I actually did ride down to Cape Town once. I spent 3 days and decided I was bored, so I rode back. But yeah, the R62 on a bike is good fun, I must say. Especially on a middle of the week afternoon with no cars around, no traffic cops, and a nice open flowing road. Let's just say the speed limit was doubled and a bit.
I just want to say, for legal purposes, the views stated by Stephen do not in any way reflect GTSSA.
Or the views of our sponsors. On that note, Track Art, TGN Racing Simulators, our good friend Trivy from Gorilla Garage, and ATM Chip Tuning, all proud supporters of GTSA. And Sebi, I didn't visit because it was 10 to 14 years ago, and I didn't know you then. But if I did, I probably still wouldn't have.
Yeah, well done to all the sponsors. Let me tell you, these things don't happen without them. So big shout out to you guys, as Steven just said.
It's the same guys clashing again.
Yeah.
This time, but John Bridgens.
At least I can sort of see what's
That
going
is
on.
just highly unfortunate.
Welcome to SA's exceptionally great internet speed from around SA.
Yeah, us with our coconut fiber.
Yep. Well, now, race is on the way from what I can see. What's happened to Stiginator? Let's have a look. What's happening there, Steve?
Going for another restart.
Heady guys to the back.
No more restarts. I know they're having lobby problems, so we can't be here all night.
Oh, there we go. Rain has delayed the start of this race.
At least it's giving us extra time to talk rubbish and annoy everyone this week.
Well, I've seen Kalani racetrack on a night like this or a day like this. Back in the day, turn 1 and turn 2 would get literally swamped with water, and they would take those big V8s out onto the circuit to try and displace the water. Incredible sights back in the day. I miss being able to go down to Kalani now with COVID. We're not allowed to go in. Got to watch it on a stream, which is horrendous.
Definitely. Well, when I did go on that trip to Cape Town, I did pop in at Kalani because I was visiting one of my biking suppliers at the time, RST Importers, who had their offices across the road from Kalani.
Oh, brilliant.
So I went in there, checked out the warehouse and all the new products, and then I went across the road and explored Kalani on a weekday afternoon, just taking a look to see what was going on.
Lekker.
Okay, we got all 15 in the lobby, last attempt. So hopefully no one ADs, and if anyone does, hopefully it's the guys that we've now put to the back of the grid. At least that rate won't affect anyone in front of them.
Yeah, no, the guys were pretty keen for this race, so let's just fingers crossed that 15th time's the charm, eh?
Well, technically only the third, but it took forever to find a host. So just for the guys that haven't raced and are joining now, we're starting with 50% fuel on the cars. Looks Sam stuck. Pace, Sam, not a good day for your pace guys. Mr. Bridgens. So we've got those three at the back, which is just very unlucky for them, but the show must go on.
SMP3 Pro getting a good start.
Definitely jumping up to 5th place. The Peugeot working for him. DKP currently 2nd behind Coquetso, so he must have had a good start just to nip past his teammate. KBR Richard 3rd, so Ian 4th.
It is interesting, the variations in strategies that these guys are going to be pulling off coming pit stops time.
Yeah, what was the strategy in your race? I know from the chats I saw a lot of guys were talking about trying to make a one-stopper with the 918, but other guys were saying that the 2-stop or even a 3-stop would be quicker on the soft tyres.
Yeah, so my strategy was actually super softs all the way, 7 laps in the beginning, and going 10-10 for the rest of it. It worked out well enough until a few mistakes when I got caught up in traffic, but it seemed to be the status quo. Everyone was just keeping to the super softs, getting in a 2-stopper and making it go quick. But again, Pool 1 is a whole different ballgame, so I'm very keen to see it, because I did chat to a few of the guys, D-Man included. Strategies are varying quite a bit, so we're going to see come lap 25 what happens then.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see Kalen saying, oh well, in the chat, but philosophical about his auto drive there. On the upside, at least it was on a night when he was on a controller, so all that effort, and he didn't get to practice, but it wasn't a night on the rig where it's going to be challenging for the win by the sounds of it anyway. The front three and their Beetles pulling a gap quickly on the rest of the pack. I'm not sure if that's strategy or just the pace, but KBR Richard doing a good job to hold on to the two DMR guys at the moment.
And Frosttank getting it nice and sideways in the Audi there. Exiting the corner in front of Stiganator, I think it was. Losing a place to him.
Yeah, he's also lost a place to RBS Racing, but now they're all in the slipstream train. 4th place to 12th, all in one long line. And we can actually maybe just go through from the front to the back and look at who's on what tyres. So our front 3, 4, it's looking so far, everyone up until 8th place is on super soft. Jan Ali's on racing mediums.
He's obviously trying to go for the long stint on the mediums.
And everyone else is on racing super soft, so it's, Jan's doing a good job if he just sits in with this pack while their tyres are fresh and they can tow him along a bit. Possibly benefit him a little bit later on. If he looks after his tyres, might even go for a one stop.
But Tivi, quite interesting you saying on the super soft, maybe just making up the time you can allow yourself the 2-stopper versus that 1-stop on the mediums. It's really
100%.
Just a timing thing. All in all, Sir Ian in the Aston Martin right in front of us now. The Lone Ranger in the Aston Martin, Sir Ian 477. Great looking car. Can we, Steve, can we see what tyre choice he's on?
They're all on super softs except for
okay, so it's
Jan Ali.
Okay.
All right. He's actually looks like he's holding up a couple of guys further back now. In the front few are getting ahead of him, so I'm quite surprised. Yeah, Steele's behind him, and he's normally someone who also goes for the longer tire saving, fuel saving kind of race strategy.
And RBS making up 2 positions there. Running
turn 1 is getting a bit argy-bargy as well, eh?
Yeah, elbows out from the pool one, guys.
How this racing falls.
Yeah, certainly some hard racing here from the top 7 cars in the mix this evening.
So we're riding on board with our host for tonight, KBR Fast One, 1610. His car choice was quite interesting. This R8 I don't think's the most ideal car for a heavy tyre wear race. Yeah. Very, very nice handling.
Definitely not, but I think off.
Brave move by Stimulate on the outside there. So Ian brakes a little bit earlier and he gets through cleanly. So 1 place more for Stignator. We go forward a little bit. We've got some nice battles still here through the field. RBS and SMP3 Pro very close together. To the guys in the chat, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also just give us your thoughts on your race tonight, race combo, anything you want to chat GT Sport.
Yeah, I did ask a question. Sorry, all yours, bud.
No,
I was just going to say, if there's anyone that's joining us that has very little knowledge of sim racing in any form, and you want to ask our panel that are here with us, these guys race pretty much every single day. Please ask a question, drop your comment down below, and we'll get the 2 guys on the other side of this line to answer you. How's that, boys?
I see Kalen saying his race was shorter than Mazepin's, so I think we need a Haas livery for Sam and Kalen for next week, because they didn't make it off the start. Mazepin tribute liveries.
I think we can make that happen.
Got some nice battling SMP3 Pro and RBS Racing.
So, guys, just back to our racing. Not sure what happened with DKP there.
I was just about to say.
Lost a lot of place there, all the way back down into 5th now, and trying to launch another attack to make those positions back now. And let's see what he does here. RBS, we can see he's very, very quick, very aggressive driver. Let's see what he does. He's going to have to hold on to that 3rd place. There we go. There's the attack now.
Well, RBS is bit of lag and a big spin there for RBS as we speak about it. I think he clipped the wall with some lag there. The car jumped around on the screen. Very unfortunate for him because he is having a stormer coming back from 8th or 7th all the way up to 3rd. Where is he now? All the way down in 12th place with heavy damage, so he's going to have to pit now. Fortunately, he was only probably a lap or 2 away from pitting anyway. But yeah, that's now thrown him 20 seconds further down the road, and he keeps going. We didn't have heavy damage this week only, so the car's fixed itself already.
Okay, great stuff. I was just going to say, DKP launching attack on that Peugeot. It is a very quick car around this circuit. And I think the smaller Beetle is just a little bit quicker on those turns. You could see he could be a lot more aggressive. And launched the attack, made it stick down the straight.
Yeah, just reading Fred's in the comments, Mr. Bridgens, who unfortunately also had one of the auto drives there, one of the 3. We've all been down that road, and basically it's always been seen as a mechanical failure, but I know when you practice it's a really, what's a good Afrikaans word, cuck one. To have to deal with the auto drive, so understand your feelings there, Fred. But another day it is going to happen to me or someone else, unfortunately, thanks to third world internet. See Koketso pitting, so we've got KBR Richard leading at the moment by 7 seconds. Deke must have also pitted because he's dropped.
So, as I was trying to say earlier, guys, sorry about that. As the branding livery dude that's helping sponsor here, want to know from you guys in this lobby here in Pool 1, what are your thoughts on the liveries out here, and which is your favorite of the bunch?
Yeah, great question. Always something that we like to look at. Very appealing on the eyes. Give us your thoughts. Great question, that TV. Appreciate it.
See, out of the guys that have pitted so far, Koketso is 29 seconds back now. So pit stop's about 36 seconds in his case. Deke is in the range of a pit stop from the top 2, so he's been flying on his fresh tyres. The fast one, us, he's into the pits. We still have SMP3 Pro staying out and Stignator.
Yeah, there we go. So KBR Richard now pitting, as Steve just said.
So it looks like we definitely are going to, I think the 2 in front and possibly Sir Ian are going to be on a one-stop strategy, and most of the rest of the pack from Koketso down on a 2-stop.
And now it's VW against that Peugeot. And I almost want to say,
with the BMW thrown in.
Yeah, it actually looks like this thing's quicker down the main straight. It doesn't make much sense. So I thought that Peugeot would have been a little bit quicker down the straights. But I think there you can see Stiganator on the brakes. He can go in a little bit longer into that turn. There we go again. You can see how he makes up that very quickly. He can make up time in those turns. Coming off the straightaways.
Do we see them going into the pits this lap? So Stignator's only just gone onto the red, so he could potentially do another lap, but he pulls in behind SMP3 Pro. Sir Ian in the BM still going for one more lap, along with D-Man, who's sitting behind him in his slipstream. So they're both the only two still yet to pit.
This is going to get interesting, guys.
Yeah, they're going to do a 10:17 rather than a 9:18. So
where's Koketso? Where's he now? We've got to watch out
he's
for
now
him.
up to third, only 14 seconds back. So in reality, if they were all doing the same number of pit stops, he'd be around about 20 seconds ahead of the front two.
Yeah.
But remembering that he's going to have to do at least a second pit stop.
DKP coming through as they were exiting that pit wall. On board with the Stiginator now.
So importantly, Koketso's only 2.6 seconds ahead of Richard. He was about 4.5 to 5 seconds before the pit stop. So Richard, by staying out one lap longer, actually managed somehow to make a bit of time up. It should be the other way around. Deke only 4 seconds behind Richard after his incident, which cost him about 8. He's managed to jump that little pack that was ahead of him, SMP3 Pro Stiginator. Damien, you can't comment for your own livery. Or maybe it wasn't that Damien that made it. But we heard it was Deke and Damien earlier. I quite like the Merc just for something a little bit different livery-wise. Not sure if that was
100%.
made or downloaded livery, but it's a good-looking replica either way. I see D-Man and Sir Ian finally pit. Sir Ian switching to mediums, D-Man's softs. So obviously with the longer second stint, the strategies are going to change again, so we're just going to go through that shortly. So we've got Koketso still running super softs. I don't know if I'm just reading. Damien says 2 Damiens there, but yeah, he digs the DMR livery. Okay, so not Damien Buerta, another. Sean, if you want to go through the tires as you see them on the YouTube stream.
We're just looking at KBR Richard now. Seems okay.
Yeah, he's running the super softs.
Yeah.
Deke's on soft.
I got to admit, I like that livery of his. Is that not Herbie livery, just by the way? Sorry, I know
on Richard, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Always a classic. Let's hope he can pull out that fully loaded stuff and get some good points here.
Okay, let's get back to an SMP3 Pro on the softs, super soft. Stiginator choosing to go just for soft tires. Yeah, I think you might want to stick out for maybe a lap or two longer. So yeah, seen just saying interesting pitch strategies, definitely so. And I think we're going to see some major action, as I think the other guys on the panel said earlier on. When it gets to about lap 25, we're going to see some really interesting racing. Don't go away, don't leave.
Yeah, some really
to go grab a beer.
Really interesting guys trying to survive on dead tires. We've got Jan Ali on the mediums and Fast One on softs. Shaking it up a bit. Jean's on the super soft with D-Man on soft.
Yeah.
Having a good battle with Sir Ian, who's on the medium. Steele's also on mediums now. And KBR RBS on super softs. He's catching back up to the back of the pits pack after that incident he had earlier. It was still very strange. It looked, he was going straight and then his car just seemed to jump across the track.
Also interesting, talking about livery, it seems to come up quite a bit. Look at that, we just jumped off him there, but that livery, absolutely awesome. Something different, something unique.
Definitely eye-catchy.
Comment now about Corquetzo's fastest lapper, 1:19.0 so far. This flying.
Absolutely flying.
Currently on the last 2 laps, he's been 2/10 quicker than KBR Richard. So Richard also brings some good laps in there.
Yeah, that car does look tremendous, guys. I've got to admit. Well done to the guys from DMR for putting out all the stops, and Ketsu doing a great job. DKP now on board with him.
Jump into this battle with SMP3 Pro and Stignator. They're still nose to tail. The great little dice they're having with each other tonight. Beetle versus Peugeot.
Yeah. And nice to see the RTA colours being represented. Well done, Stignator.
I think everyone else is racing ACC. Even I'm taking a break this season. So shame we left Stiggy all alone. But well done to Alan. He's racing everywhere. I've got RTA colours on my Rocket League car.
I think this is
you're seeing in the chat saying besides KLM, anyone else using a controller? Do you know if anyone else is on controller in Pool 1?
I actually can't remember offhand. Maybe the guys in the chat can let us know. But we have had guys on. I mean, Corquetzo and Diki were Pool 1 runners when they were on controller anyway. I think the main difference with the wheel is it allows you to be smoother and maybe control your tyre wear a little bit better.
100%. I can actually attest to that firsthand, specifically for this race, because when I started practicing for it, I was doing about 122s, 123s. On the controller, tyre wear was killing me. And then I switched to the wheel yesterday and I started doing 121s, 120s. Not Pool 1 times by any standard, but definitely an improvement straight off the bat, and that's just a couple hours getting back into it. So it definitely does make a difference. So an advantage wherever you can get it.
We've got Sean and Sir Ian having a great battle here for 8th place, just ahead of Sir Ian and KBR RBS. It's now moved into 11th. Jan Ali Pitts. It's a bit early from him for a second stop. Just take a look. He had a slow lap on lap 7. But that doesn't seem slow enough to do a pit stop, so maybe he just forgot to put petrol in or something. Or deliberately didn't, because he was about 10 seconds quicker than the guys who did stop for 2 stop on petrol.
Certainly looks like they're sitting on more fuel there.
Yeah. Looking at Corquetzo, yeah, he's got 12 laps to go and he's still got half a tank of fuel. Whether he makes it all the way to the end, or most likely he's going to have to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, he's got a massive gap to DQ though.
Something happened to Richard, who's dropped behind Diki. Not enough of a gap for him to have pitted, so he must have spun somewhere along the line. You can just see that lap round he did at 25, so he lost about 5 seconds.
SMP3 Pro looks like he's just edged a little bit of a gap on Stignator, just easing off the pressure for himself.
You can see he's pushing hard there.
Yeah.
What also could have happened with KBR Richard is the track limits penalty, especially on the last turns, quite stiff, so possibly he got a track limits penalty and had to slow down. Also could be something to watch out for later with anyone. There's no one that I've heard of penalties 7.5 seconds, so that's Corquetzo's gap at the front. He could be in trouble at the end of the race if he got one of those. DK, KBR Richard, so we still got quite a tight race at the front after 16 laps.
Yeah, indeed, fantastic race.
Yeah. Stignator's pulled in that half a second back on SMP3 Pro, so they're battling again. That seems like the Beetle had the advantage through the tight section.
Yeah, I certainly the shorter wheelbase on the Beetle would make a difference there. And you can see there, look at that on your screen now, just tightening up that gap and just easing pressure back onto SMP3 Pro.
What's very important, also important to notice is something happened to Deaky there because he's dropped back again. Also possibly last corner time penalty. What I was going to say though is if we look at SP3 Pros going wide there, leaves the door open for Stignator, so side by side coming down the hill. Stignator has more fuel from being in the slipstream. So at the next pit stop, that possibly would have given him a couple seconds on SMP3 Pro, but now if he's only 9/10 behind Deaky, if he can sit in there, let's see how their fuel's looking. Deaky's got a lot less fuel, so it's also going to cost him some time in the pits. KBR Richard's not doing too bad. Remember, Stignator and SMP went a lap longer than Deaky and Koketsa, I think.
Yeah.
Richard went a lap longer than them, but Stignator and SMP we were thinking were possibly on a one-stopper here, so for them to be that close to second and third, as Deaky and Richard pit, that's looking good there for SMP and Stig.
Yeah. Well, there you go. As you said, DKP and he's going to be taking on fuel and going on to softs. And DKP not letting up. He's keeping on the pressure there.
And Stignator runs a little bit wide onto the dirt.
This is where all the action's coming out.
Looking at their fuel, they definitely is going to have to stop again. These two, so they're not one-stopping.
Yeah, pretty much no fuel left there. You can see the fuel light flashing. Steve, with your experience, that should get them around the circuit again to the pit lane entry.
Well, these two did 9 laps on half a tank, so we can see Stignator's got about a third of a tank. Yeah, you definitely won't do another 9 laps on that. So, no. What advantage he does have compared to SMP3 Pro is quite a bit extra fuel. So after his little mistake there and losing the place, he has lost some time, but those are still going to fight for the higher positions. Let's see, pits with Koketsa and SMP. So they did a shorter second stint, and we can see Stignator 14% fuel to SMP's 4. Koketsa's still got 28%, so he out 9 lap stint and he should be comfortable. Let's see how else. Koketsa already out the pits. A little splash and dash. D-Man hasn't pitted yet for a second time, but he is in second place. He came in on lap 10, so looking at his fuel, he should easily make it to the end. Another 9 laps or so on half a tank. We just had Sean disconnect from the chat. Trivs, can you invite him back?
Yes.
Afterburn 300.
Shot, I'm on it.
Just going to scroll through here. D-Man currently second, Sir Ian up to third now. He's also a lap 10 stopper. KBR Richard pitted earlier, so he is on the 2 stoppers. Pitted on lap 14. He's got enough fuel to make it to the end, so pitted on lap 17. So he should have enough fuel to make it to the end. Busy fighting with Sir Ian for third. He'll want to get past quickly, not to lose too much time.
Bud, can you just confirm his PSN for me again?
Afterburn 300.
300, sure.
Further back, we've got Steel on the one stopper, having a battle with Stignator. SMP3 Pro also involved in there. 3 abreast, I think, coming down here. Stignator and SMP3 Pro still very close together. It's okay, well, I'll take a look there shortly. I just don't want to leave because everyone will miss this exciting battle that we have for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Don't stress about it.
Yeah, still looking at fighting back, but he's on the older tyres, a one stopper, so I don't think he's going to be getting there. There we go.
And he's back.
Welcome back, Sean.
Okay, how's it, guys? Just had a bit of a power glitch there. It dropped the power for a while.
You're missing some good battling. The two stoppers are coming through on one or two of the one stoppers. KBR Richards now up to third. Stignator and S&P are fighting with Sir Ian.
Yeah, fantastic racing there, folks. If you are new to this, I always say that to the newbies that might be joining us. This is where all the action is here this evening.
Yeah, DK down in 7th place, just behind S&P 3 Pro. He's also looking for way past Sir Ian, so it looks like the one stop is not working out too well for Sir Ian at the moment. Well, so yeah, Steele was on a one stopper. He's now in 8th place. Fast One 9th, Dynamic Sean 10th. Yeah, nearly in 11th. Also, I think a one stopper. RBS Racing 12th place. Unfortunate when he lost that 20 seconds earlier, because he would be within 21 seconds of the leader, which would put him in the mid pack here. This battle 7th, 8th.
Yeah, he would have definitely been up there.
Yeah, some DMR E on DMR E racing. S&P versus DK. DK trying to make his way back, battling with the back markers. Stignator's managed to get a 1.5 second gap on S&P 3 Pro. Coquetto getting into the 118.9. I'm not sure if that's what Mr. Fox was talking about, but great flying lap there out the pits.
Yeah,
That is
lap.
crazy.
Yeah, he's just chewing up the lap times here.
Yeah, he's, as I said, all by himself with no one to worry about, so he can just focus on brake markers. Like we see S&P, DK, Stignator, Richard on their fresh tyres, they're all trying to get past the one stopper on their flying lap. So they were doing high 19s and 20s, it looks like, and DK manages to get through. Yeah, Stignator's first flying lap out was a 21, but that was including passing Sir Ian and Steele.
Yeah. But yes, he's just saying a 189 is insane.
Definitely.
Totally agree. That is absolutely insane, and well done to kids. I think drive of the day should be wrapped up on lap 22. How about that?
I don't know. We've still got 6 laps to go, and there's quite a bit of battling to go. Stignator's 2 seconds behind Richard. Richard's 3.7 behind D-Man, who hasn't stopped yet for his second stop, so he's definitely on a one stopper. But he's in the 21s and 22s versus the guys behind 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Would be awesome to see Stignator pick up a podium position this evening. So come on, Stiggy, you've got my vote here. Come on.
And also great performance from Richard. DK's having a bit of an off night, 1 or 2 mistakes or time penalties possibly. Who else is doing well? Obviously Coquetto's pulling a blinder as usual, but we expect him to be out front setting fastest laps. Wondering how high D-Man's one stop is going to keep him. He's still 3 seconds ahead of Richard. Stiggy's within 1.4 now of 3rd place. DK's still 2 seconds from Stignator. It's got slightly worse soft tyres. S&P 3 Pro down in 6. They've already pulled out 6 seconds on Sir Ian just in 2 laps. Steele's 2.5 behind him. It gets a bit spread out to the last few hours. Great camera view there of the Golf Beetle 911 edition. I don't think I've seen that camera view before. Have you guys caught it yet? A few seconds behind what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we did. We just came through now. It's absolutely stunning.
Go back to the front. Yassine says we should add extra weight to Coquetto's car, a bit of BOP tuning. Welcome Corne, Mr. Leap in the chat. Gap from D-Man to Richard down to 1.8, so they've taken another second off. 22s versus 20. Stiginator's right on the back of KBR Richard. It's got quite a bit fresher tyres by pitting 2 laps later. So
there we go, Corne. Your wish might just come. He's going to go bananas.
I definitely will. Look at this.
I think Stignator could be on for second here without any crossing fingers for no commentator's curse. But fresher tyres than the Beetle ahead of him, and they both catching hand over fist on D-Man. Deaky's dropped off another 8/10 on Stignator, so there was a bit of that weird lag again from the BMW approaching the wall of death.
Oh man, big time.
But
I think Stignator's racing his heart out.
Definitely.
Because outside in Plumstead, it's probably flooding at the moment, so he's just trying to get down with
so he can make sure that his car still runs afterwards.
It's a great job by these two Beetles, Richard and Stignator. I think they've both hunted down the BM now. If I was D-Man, I'd actually just stay out the way, not compromise my race at all, because he's going to be trying to hang on to the highest position possible, move out the Beetle's way, and as a racer you don't really want to, but watching the top guys, that's normally what they would do. FIA racers on different strategies, they try to minimize time loss fighting with other guys. You can see Richard moving off to the left there just as I speak about it.
Yeah, well done. Great racing there, guys. And these two Beetles giving us a proper show here.
A slight little nudge there, but obviously that's when you have extra grip. Stignator not passing and not attacking after that. That little corner, every time there's lag there, get a fright.
I don't think Stignator's field's going to get him to the end, eh?
Yeah. That would be tragic.
What do you think?
Yeah.
It's a bit tight, but 2 laps to go though.
Well. Yeah, that's very, very tight.
He's going to want to stay in that slipstream for as long as he can. And
but what's interesting is Deaky's obviously closing now on D-Man for 4th place. And if the longer you stay behind, Stignator stays behind Richard, Deaky will be catching him. So what I'd do is try to get past, use the grip on maybe a map 2, use the full power just to get past, and then run map 2 until the straight. Meanwhile, front Coquette's got a 14-second lead, and he can afford to stop and buy a coffee and a couple muffins.
Yeah.
but he's having a great race. Just because he's all the way up front doesn't mean he's taking it easy. He's keeping that pedal flat.
Yeah, Deaky's and SMP3 Pro have both managed to get past D-Man. Only 1.4 seconds, but closing quick on this battle for second. Already a couple tenths. Very cautious through that last corner. Want to avoid the penalty. I think Stignator might have had to put it into a high fuel map because he's lost 7 tenths on Richard there in the last couple corners. So elusive podium might be overdriven the fuel.
Oh, come on, Stignator.
So unfortunate, man.
We've got Deaky 4th, SMP3 Pro currently in 5th. Just going back, D-Man, Suyan 12 seconds further back. Fast One 8th, Yasteel 9th, Jean 10th, RBS 11th place, Yanali 12th. On those,
just looking at all the fuels, I think they're all pretty much running down there except for Yonel.
Deaky's also quite low.
Hold on to this.
Or KBR Richard is now 8 tenths ahead, but I think all 4 of these cars, but especially the 2 Beetles, or especially Stignator, looking at it, and maybe Deke are probably the two lowest.
Kitsu coming around the last corner.
Yeah, Coquetto already taking the flag on my side. Sorry for that. But obviously we want to see what happens here with this battle for third. KBR Richards got second. Can Deke get third on the line? Looks like it, unfortunately for Stignator.
There we go.
I think he ran out of fuel, but gets fourth. Heartbreak for him. SMP3 Pro fifth. D-Man sixth. D-Man managed to be the best of the one-stoppers. Fast one coming across the line in seventh. Neff Steel coming for eighth. Bit of a dice at the back here. Oh, and so Ian runs out of petrol. RBS takes Jean and sorry, not just Steel. Dynamic Jean and Jan Ali. So RBS jumps up and they all pass Sir Ian right on the line. Well done to Coquetto, flawless, fastest lap, clean race. Didn't start on pole, so he didn't get the trifecta, but it actually shows Sir Ian having left the room. I'm not sure if he disconnected on that last corner.
Oh, great driving, nevertheless, from everyone.
Epic battle.
Yeah,
great racing.
Epic battle between Stignator. Man, oh man, if only we had that little bit more fuel. Local man there, Stignator, just not getting that podium that he so desperately wanted. Good going,
So
guys.
great job.
Great racing.
I'm going to give KBR Richard, just for the end result, my driver of the day. I think it was between him and Stignator for me, obviously Coquetto, but as driver of the day, if Hamilton wins, no one's surprised. Stignator ran out of glug glug. Or as they say in the Cape, glue glue.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's round 4 done.
Again, the fuel strats.
Great racing by the guys. Some awesome mixed strategy. So hard luck to the 3 guys that had auto drive. It wasn't in the stars for you tonight, or however they say it, but I'm sure you'll be back.
Yeah, guys, superb racing from every single driver. Thanks for having me. It's been a while since I was on the chat, and it was really good. But we hope to see you very soon, and have a fantastic Friday tomorrow, and be safe out on the roads, guys.
Cheers, all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Epic racing as always. Catch you next week.
Thanks so much, guys. Catch you next week.